how to speak up in your personal and professional relationships. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you some insights that I've had in my own life and how I've helped other misfits, witches, outliers, the people who are leaders but don't quite fit into the mold that society gives us, and why staying quiet is actually costing you your life. So, most women don't stay quiet because they're weak. They stay quiet because it feels safe. And it's true, it will be true that as you were growing up, staying quiet, not speaking up for yourself, not saying how you truly felt and what you truly thought was not only a coping mechanism because you were taught that speaking up for yourself is unsafe, that it puts you in the line of bullies, manipulators, people who don't have your best interests at heart. So not only was it a coping mechanism, it actually became a survival strategy. I know because I was once one of those women. I was just like you. I knew what I wanted to say, but when it came to speaking up, either my voice got choked or my brain went. I was once like you. I knew what I wanted to say, but I didn't know how to say it. Either my words got stuck, they got choked into my throat, or my brain went completely blank, or I just froze. Something stopped me from saying what I needed, wanted, and deserved to say. And I'm here to help people just like you. I'm here to help the women who feel like the misfits, the witches, the outliers, the people who don't quite fit into what we're supposed to be doing. Those people who live their life slightly differently, who think outside the box. I'm here for you. So staying quiet, silencing yourself, editing your words, filtering the way that you interact with people. It does feel safe, but you know that deep down, it's not who you truly are, and it's costing you. It comes at a hidden cost. Now, it takes away your energy. It makes you emotionally exhausted. You disconnect from people that you would love to feel closer to. Now, if you're listening to this and you're nodding away and you're thinking, yes, Carrie, that's me. I know how you feel. There was a time when I wanted to be able. Now, if you're nodding away to this or you're thinking, yeah, that's me, or you recognize parts of yourself in this, or you recognize parts of this in yourself, this is where Now, if you're listening to this and you're nodding away, you're saying, yes, Carrie, I know exactly what you mean, or you're seeing parts of this in yourself, or you're seeing parts of yourself in what I'm saying, then I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be that way for the rest of your life. You can start to change. And it doesn't take monumental change. It doesn't take an announcement. It just takes tiny, incremental micro actions that help you to start to speak your truth without fear, without self-judgment, without anger, and without the fear of retaliation. Because you're going to start to say who you are, what you need, what you want, and what you deserve. And you're going to start to get it. People are going to start to treat you differently. You're going to command more respect. You're going to step into your authority, and you're going to trust your voice. Now when you now you may recognize that when you don't speak your truth, when you don't speak up for yourself, it distances you from the people that you want to be close to, or it isolates you from a team at work, or it isolates you from yourself, and you feel isolated from other people, and worst of all, you feel isolated from yourself. That can change. So today I want to explore this question with you. Today I want to explore this question with you. Why does staying safe... So today I want to explore this question with you. Why does staying quiet... So today I want to explore this question with you. First of all, why does staying quiet feel safer? And B, what is it really costing you? So to answer it honestly, I need to start with my own voice. Now, I've been a singer, a voice coach, a music lecturer, and I'm also a 3 times best-selling co-author. And I've performed and spoken on stages across Europe. I've performed in more than 30 countries. I never had an issue with performance. I was always a confident performer. I've been a music lecturer for more than 10 years. I was a music lecturer in London. I was a music lecturer in inner city further education colleges for 10 years. I became course leader. I was head of music. And I was feisty. I was more than capable of everything that I took on. And I did command presence when I was on stage and in rooms, in meetings, in seminars, lectures. I was able to share messages with people from all different backgrounds, of all different ages. But when it came to my personal... I was able to share messages with people from all backgrounds, of all ages. But when it came to my personal relationships, when it came to a one-to-one conversation in my professional life, often I was completely stifled. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to say it. My voice would give up on me. I'm a trained singer. I'm a trained speaker. I know how to do this stuff. But in times when stress came and when pressure came on top, my voice failed me. Now, the thing is, to the people that were around me at that time, they would be surprised to hear this because I looked immensely confident. I looked overconfident. Now, for some of the people that were around me at that time, this would surprise them because I came across as extremely confident. Sometimes I came across as overconfident, even arrogant. And that was because my voice disappeared on me when it mattered the most. And that brings me to this point. Authority in public doesn't equal self-trust in private. Just because you look confident to everyone else, you may... So you may recognize that these... So you might recognize these internalized messages that come up for you when there's something important that you need to say. Don't speak. They know better. No one really cares what you think. This was true for me. I grew up learning that not speaking up for myself because the adults around me knew better. And as I grew up, that became the people in authority know better, or at least believe that they know better. And I came to believe that no one really cares what I think. Now, that may or may not have been true, but that message was internalized from quite a young age, and it took and it went with me right up until I was in my mid-30s. Now, at the time of making this video, I'm 49. I'm about to turn 50 in a couple of months. And it took me a really long time to understand that what I felt was keeping me safe and what became comfortable was actually killing my creativity and killing me as a person. I did not know who I was. I got to a stage where I thought other people's thoughts. I would imagine what other people would want me to do before I made a decision about what to do. Now, in my career as a singer, I always did what I wanted to. Now, it meant that people vilified me because I had a young daughter who was at home while I was off on tour. They told me that I should be at home with my child. But when I was working as a croupier, when I was working nights, no one said that to me. It was only when I was working nights as a singer that people told me that I was doing the wrong thing, that I was a selfish person, that I was a bad mother. When I was a croupier, away working nights, I was doing the right thing because it was a proper job. So to other people, being able to live that life, the life that I chose, in the face of vilification, if that's even a word, I think it is, but in the face of so many people telling me that I was wrong for doing that, I looked very, very confident. I was feisty. But when it came to the important conversations, my voice failed me. My confidence went completely. I didn't know what to say. So what that meant was that I didn't earn what I was worth. I invoiced, and what that meant was that I was earning less than I was worth. So what that meant was that when it came to negotiating rates as a professional singer, I wasn't earning what I was worth. I would charge less than what I was worth. I would be negotiated down. I was acknowledged as a great performer, someone to have on board, because I was very knowledgeable about different types of music. I was very adaptable. I'm able to sing lots of different styles. And I have a very versatile and adaptable voice. So people acknowledged me as being a great singer and a great performer and someone really important to have on their team. But I wasn't respected as that. So acknowledgement and respect, there was a disparity, and that went on for a really long time. I became exploited both personally and professionally. I was in a carousel of toxic relationships. I was lucky enough at one point to find a narcissist and fall in love. It wasn't love, but at the time I thought I'd fallen in love with a narcissist. That was a big wake up call. But it still took years after that. It was still a good 10 years after that I started to get my own voice. Even though I knew that I was being stifled, that I was deliberately holding back, and that I was deliberately being held back by the people around me. And I was just repeating toxic patterns in my personal and my professional relationships. Now, you may recognize this in yourself. There may be parts of this that you have seen in your own life. And what I came to understand, that being silent didn't keep me safe, and it doesn't keep you safe, but it keeps you familiar. It makes you easy to have around. So the turning point came a few years ago when I was in yet another toxic relationship. I hadn't realized at first, I'd known the person for a good few years before we entered a romantic relationship. But as time went on, I started to notice that there were these dysfunctional patterns. And there was one conversation that happened where I knew, here I was yet again in this same pattern. And that although I'd done lots of work, by that time I'd done lots of work on myself, I'd done some very deep work. But I realized that again, I was in another toxic relationship that I had walked into thinking that my eyes were wide open, but actually I was still quite blinkered. And what happened was the ghosting, the gaslighting, the fear of, we also worked together. So when I wanted to speak up in our personal romantic relationship, and I wanted to end that relationship, I knew that it would have a negative impact on our working relationship because we worked together. And I knew that this person wasn't able to separate our private relationship from our professional relationship. And I knew that if I'd ended the relationship right then, when I knew that it was time, I knew that that would have a massive impact on my work, and that I would spiral, and that I would possibly break. So I made a very conscious decision that I had to continue the relationship. I didn't have to, but I made a very conscious decision to continue the relationship under false pretenses, which may or may not have been wrong of me, but at that time I was keeping myself safe. It's not something that I would do now, but at that time, that's what I felt was the right thing to do. And it was during another pivotal conversation that I said to myself out loud, this has to stop. I'm worth more than this. I can do more than this, and I deserve better. And that was the moment that I ended the relationship, and I made the decision that I would never be in this situation again, that I would spot the signs, that I would not hold back from my voice, from my body, that I would start to speak up for myself. That was a few years ago, and it still took some time. Now, this wasn't about becoming more confident, because by that time, I knew that I was confident in what I needed to do. I knew that I was confident in what I could do and who I could be as a person. So this is less about confidence. It's not about speaking louder, but it's not also about becoming fearless, because confidence doesn't mean a lack of fear. I decided to trust my own authority, to trust my own voice as an authority, and to trust my voice as a method of freedom. My voice as a singer had given me freedom to travel the world, to share my message, to share my ideas, to be infinitely creative, to meet amazing people and have amazing experiences. But now I chose my voice to free myself, to free my inner person, to free the person that I was hiding when I wasn't speaking up for myself. Singing had become the place where I could tell the truth safely. Singing had become the place where I could tell the truth safely before I could say it in spoken word, before I could say it in conversations. And the reason for this is that sound bypasses logic. Your body releases energy before your mind decides whether you're going to or not. Your mind has to kind of keep up with what your body does. You'll know that as a leader, you'll know that there are As a leader, you'll know that there are visual cues way, way, way before you say anything. And you'll know when people are holding back. And you'll know that when you're holding back, it shows in your voice. I've chosen to speak about this now because I've come to a place. I've chosen to speak about this now. Now I've been able to help lots of people to use their voice in a positive way that frees them, that liberates them, that gives them energy and gives them the confidence to be able to speak their truth, whether that's in written word or verbally, through songwriting, but also through in actual conversations. And it starts with just making a sound. So I invite you to join me. And what we're going to do is turn a feeling into sound. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a positive or a negative feeling. Just notice how you're feeling right now and just sit with that for a few moments. We're going to sit in silence for a few moments. Silence is very, very energetic and powerful. Sit with that feeling and notice where you feel it in your body. And if that feeling has a sound, make that sound with your voice. And if it doesn't have a sound, create a sound for it. I'm going to go with this one. And you can follow me if you feel shy or you're not sure what to do, you can follow me and then your intuition will take over. You might want to place your hands where you feel that sound, or where you feel the feeling. Notice how good it feels just to let that sound free. This isn't about being a good singer. This isn't about sounding nice or doing the right sound or sounding good or sounding pretty. This is about trusting your voice to do what it needs. So the reason I've decided to talk about this in this signature series is that I have decided to go with excellence. Each year when I've been in now I've been in coaching circles for a long time now, and each year I take on a new word, and that word is my theme for the year. Last year it was focus, and this year it's excellence. So this year I'm taking on excellence. I'm embracing excellence. I am giving excellence to my clients. I am giving excellence to my business. I'm growing my business with the theme of excellence, and I expect excellence around me as standard. I will only be tolerating excellence, not perfection, excellence, because excellence allows for growth. It allows for mistakes. It allows for questions, and it allows for change. Perfection doesn't. I'm going for truth over being liked. Think of me as your truth fairy. And I'm going for authority. I've embraced being truthful over being liked. Think of me as your truth fairy, and I've embraced authority over approval. So if you want to get on board with me, if you want to take this journey with me, and I would. So if you want to get on board with building your inner trust in your. So if you're ready to start trusting your. So if you're ready to own your voice, own your truth, trust your authority, and you want to come on this journey with me, here is my. So if you're ready to take the next steps, come on this journey with me, own your voice, trust your inner truth, own your truth and trust your authority, I've got a mini task for you. I want you to notice. I want you to notice during this week where you soften your truth in conversations, where you minimize yourself in your verbal and your written communication, and where you swallow a sound, a word, or a breath. And what I'd love you to do so that you stay on board with this is to bookmark this video, copy the link. The link is at the top of the your device, on the top of the screen of your device. Copy that, paste it somewhere where you can find it very easily. I would recommend, if you keep a digital calendar, post it into your digital calendar a day, 5 or 7 days away from now, and come back to this and watch it back and forward it to the end right here where this is the prompt, or write it down somewhere and watch it through again. Write down this prompt somewhere around this link. Where did you soften your truth? Where did you minimize yourself in verbal or written communication? And where did you swallow a sound, a word, or a breath? This isn't about judging yourself. It's not about fixing yourself. If you're in conversations and you notice yourself doing this, don't try to fix it on the spot. Just go with what you would normally do, what you've come to learn to do in these situations, and just notice it. Make a note in your mind, and then at the end of the week, have a look at all of these places where you have stopped yourself, where you have stopped your truth. Now, when you're looking back over these places, over these situations and circumstances that have happened during the week, you can decide to choose one of them. Remember the feeling, remember the conversation, remember the situation, and remember the feeling you were in at that moment. And do the exercise we've just done. Where do you feel it in your body? What sound does it have? If it doesn't have a sound, give it a sound. Make that sound and enjoy making that sound. It might not be a pleasant sound. It might be a scream. It might be a growl. It might be a very, very strange sound. It might be a cartoon sound. It might be a cartoon voice. This isn't about getting it right. It's not about sounding good or sounding nice or doing the right thing. This is about doing what you feel, going with your own feelings. So and register what wasn't said. And notice what you didn't say. You might want to say it out loud in this moment. You may not. This doesn't happen overnight. There's no big jump. There is no quick fixes, and there are no hacks for this. But you are on the right path and you can take the steps. So if what I've said in this video has resonated with you and you're ready to go on the journey, stay with me because I'd love you to come along. I'll see you in the next video. Stay hydrated. Ciao!